Hey everybody, it's Steve. Welcome back. Today we're once again going to descale my Rheem tankless water heater. Now, I did this once before back in episode 4, but since then I've learned a lot, so this is a new and improved version. We're also going to use this Chromex kit that they sent me. It includes everything you need to do the descale, so we'll give that a try. Also, if you want a shorter version, we have a streamlined video up here. You can check that out here in the corner. Alright, let's get right to it, because this is something that even I can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be using a Chromex kit to do this whole project. And it's really nice because they send it to you in a box, which contains this container, and this is everything in here that you need. So it's sealed up pretty tight. You need one of those pliers to kind of get in there. We'll just rip this thing off the outside. All right, inside the bucket, all the things that you're going to need. So starting with a pair of hoses, and they're color-coded, red for hot, blue for cold, so that way we don't get confused when we're attaching them. And then you'll get 4 quarts of this descaling solution. Now they give you 4 quarts of this stuff. You only need 1 quart per cleaning, so you'll be able to do this clean out 4 times without having to buy anything else. Now if you don't want to use the descaling solution, an alternative is vinegar. This is just regular old vinegar, and 4 gallons of this poured into the bucket, we'll run that through, does a very good job as well. Another nice feature about the bucket is that it comes with this little ledge that goes in there and sits at the bottom of the bucket, and then you can take your pump and it'll sit on top of that ledge, and then that gives it a little bit of clearance between the pump and the bottom of the bucket. Now, I've been in this house for about 13 years, so I've done this clean out a number of times, but I'm not a plumber. So when I first started doing these, I had to do some research. I looked at the Rheem website and their technical service bulletin, which you can see here. And those are the instructions that I follow to the letter whenever I do this. Now you might also notice this piece of paper that's attached to the unit. That's a list that I made. It keeps me on track. So I only do this once every 6 months, so I kind of can forget, the order and such. So I have that here. That's also linked up here in the corner. Check that out. You can print that out and attach it to yours and help you stay on track. All right, the first thing you want to do is to turn off the gas. Now for me, it's just pulling this lever down. And so whenever you see a lever that's perpendicular to the pipe that it's in, that means it's in the closed position. If it's parallel, that means it's open. So there we go, gas is shut off. Next, we'll turn off the electricity, and for that, I'm just gonna unplug it here. And it'll stay unplugged and without gas for the duration of the project. All right, next we're gonna stop the flow of water into the unit and out of the unit. Now, this particular unit was installed with service valves. That's what you see here, this second red knob here and this second blue knob and this little out port here. That's to allow us to do what we're going to do today. If your installer didn't include these, then this process is not going to work for you. You're going to have to figure out another way to do it. I won't be able to help you today. All right, so what we want to do is we want to shut off the water going in. So you can see here on the cold side that it's parallel to the pipe, and again, just like the gas, that means that it's open. So we're going to turn that to the right. And we want that to go all the way, because if you don't have it all the way and a little bit of water continues to trickle in, then that water could end up in your bucket. You'll end up with an overflowing bucket at some point. All right, next we need to close the hot side. Now, sometimes the knobs are a little bit hard to turn, so you can get yourself a pair of channel locks, and you can just grab a hold of the knob this way. And tell you what, this makes it a lot easier to turn than when I do it by hand. On this side, if this isn't all the way tightened, then water will leak out into your faucets and stuff, which you don't want, because that'll be the vinegar or the descaling solution. Next, we need to remove the caps from the service ports. So there should be one on the blue side, one on the red side. They're probably just hand tightened. You should be able to just unscrew them, but sometimes they're tight and you need a wrench. All right, now we'll attach our hoses to the service ports. So we'll start with the blue one, put that one aside for now. And that's of course gonna go over here on the blue side. We'll just sort of feed that through and then connect, turning to the right to tighten it. Make sure it's on there fairly securely, otherwise it will leak and water will get everywhere. Next we'll take our red hose and secure that to the red side. Again, make sure it's tight. Drop the other ends of the hoses into the bucket. All right, next we're gonna open the service port valves, and you can do this by hand, or I'm just gonna use this wrench because it's easier. Now when you do this, you will start seeing a little bit of water flow into your hoses, into your bucket. Now that's because although this is tankless, there is a little bit of a reservoir in there that will then drain into your bucket. So as a check to make sure that you have fully closed off the incoming water supply, wait about 5 minutes fully extend the hoses to make sure that all the water that's held up in this tank has drained out. At that point, you should not see any additional water coming from these two hoses. If you do, even a little bit of a trickle, that means that your cold side isn't fully secured. So go back, tighten that up. All right, once you're satisfied that all the water has sufficiently drained, we'll do our pre-filter. So that's just this little black thing here. We're going to turn that to the left to loosen it. There might be a few drops of water. Yep, there we go. That's just, again, residual water. And so here we have this little screen thing, and we're looking for minerals that have got trapped in there. We're going to rinse it out in our sink and get those minerals out of there, and then we'll replace it. All right, it's all rinsed. So to put it back together, just line up this hole on the underside here with this piece, the hole on this piece, and just snap it back together, and then we'll screw it back in. All right, now next, here's our included pump and our blue hose. We're going to connect the blue hose, the cold side, to the top of our pump. And that's, again, righty-tighty. Make sure that's nice and secure. Once that's on there securely, we're going to just drop the pump into the bucket, and it'll sit on that little orange ledge. All right, next I'm going to add my solution to the bucket. Pour that in. All right, and then we will follow that with our gallon of water. All right, our water in our solution is in the bucket. Now, as I mentioned, you can use vinegar instead of the solution in water. Vinegar, I use 3 or 4 gallons, and just pour it in the bucket just like we did for this. All right, we're ready to plug in. But before we do that, I like to do a quick review to make sure I have everything set up properly. So let's just check this. All right, our gas should be off. Our electricity should be off. The water intake valve should be shut. The service port valve on the cold side should be open. That's going to draw water from our bucket through that port. Then it's going to come up here, so make sure your pre-filter is in place and tight. Then it'll come out on the hot side, so make sure that the service port for the hot is open. That's going to drain into our bucket through the red hose. And then make sure that the valve that takes the water into your house, that one's shut. One little trick I do is I'll take a piece of tape and I'll put it in the bucket right at the fill line so I can see what the level was before I start the pump. That way, if the water is going down or if it's rising, which it shouldn't do because it's just a closed loop, then I know something is wrong. Either my cold is open or my hot side is open, and I'll have to go back and make sure those are tight. Okay, we're ready to plug in our pump. Now you should do that with a properly grounded outlet, preferably a GFCI plug like this one. Just plug that in. As soon as we plug it in, the pump will start running. And there you go, you can hear it as it's starting to push water out. If we look at our red hose, there's the water coming out that's been through the system already. Okay, it is running, and we're going to let that run for about 45 to 60 minutes. Now that's per the Rheem instructions. If you have a water softener, you might not need to run it quite as long or as often, but I have very hard water, so my system does get fouled up pretty quickly and aggressively with that all those minerals and calcium and stuff. So I do like to run it for the full 60 minutes. Now this is the point where the plumber would go sit in his truck and get paid to play solitaire or whatever he's doing out there. I, on the other hand, will go inside and throw my feet up on my recently repaired recliner and have a nice hot cup of joe. So I'm about 10 minutes into the process here, and I just wanted to come back and check and make sure that the water level is staying constant, and it is right there where I left it, so that should be good. Okay, it's been about 60 minutes, so let's go ahead and shut this down. Okay, next we'll remove the hose from the pump. And then I'm going to take the pump out of the bucket, and I'm going to drop it in this other bucket just so that I don't get water over my garage. And then we'll empty our bucket. Next, we'll close the cold side service port. All right, so coming up, we're going to flush fresh water through our system to get all the vinegar and descaling solution out of it. And we need a place for the water to go. Now, you can either run it straight into the bucket, but then you're going to have to sort of start and stop and refill and empty your bucket multiple times. Or what I do is I take a standard garden hose, I attach it to the hose that comes off the hot side, and then we will just run our water out to the garden. All right, step 25, we're going to flush fresh water through here. So we'll open up our water supply line here, and as soon as I do that, you'll hear the water run. If you connected the hose to the garden, it's going to be running out there on the garden. If you're filling up a bucket, get ready to stop it and empty your bucket and then repeat 2 or 3 times at least. And once you're satisfied that you've run out all your descaling solution, go ahead and shut off the water. All right, now we're going to recheck our pre-filter, so I want to make sure that all the water once again runs out of the tank. So I'm going to reopen my service port here. And then I'll look at my hoses here and make sure that all the water has drained. All right, with my bucket position, I'll open up our pre-filter once again. Just a little bit of water. Now I'll check this and rinse it if necessary. Our clean pre-filter, put that back in. Okay, at this point we're ready to put everything back the way it was. So let's close our service port. So I'll use my channel locks for that. So we'll close the hot side and we'll close the cold side. And we don't need our hoses anymore, so we can remove those. Doesn't matter which one you do first. Go ahead and remove the hot and the cold. All right, and then we'll put our service caps back on. We don't need these. Open it anymore. Hot side and the cold side. All right, and then we're ready to open up our lines here. So we'll start with the hot. Open that one first. And then I'll open the cold. Okay, so at this point, water should be flowing. So let's go inside, check our faucets and make sure everything is working. So turn the water on the hot side. That's the source of water we need to check. And there we go. Now, it might spit and sputter a little bit. That's just because there's air in the lines. That is perfectly normal. Okay, we're ready to plug in. And take a look at the screen. It'll take a second or two before that comes to life. There it is. All right, and then next we will turn our gas back on, so we'll bring this back up into parallel or in line. All right, now we are set. Let's go check and see if we're getting hot water. Okay, so it is starting to get warm. Not quite hot yet, but as long as you start feeling it get warm, then that's a good sign that everything's working. So we are good here. Let's go back out and wrap up. Okay, so that's it for the descaling part of the video today. I would recommend that you also check one other thing at the same time you do this, and that's the pressure relief valve, which is located here behind the hot side. That prevents the unit from building up too much pressure inside, either because the temperature gets too high or the water pressure is too high. If you don't have that working, it could damage the unit. So check that out. I have a video for how to do that. It's up here in the corner. Super short, super easy to do. So check that out just to have peace of mind that that's working properly. Okay, so that's all I have for today. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Now, Chromex sent me a free kit today, which was very nice, and it seemed like it worked great. But I don't have a sponsorship or anything, so I really appreciate it if you check out those Amazon and YouTube affiliate links. That helps out the channel. All right, that is it. So until next time, this has been Steve for things that even I can do.